So I think, today was almost our season in a nutshell. That, again, I think from the opening whistle at Elon to the final whistle here in the Duke game, our kids played extremely hard and with great effort and never quit and had, incredible physical effort and resiliency all year. But again, it's just, if you look at the year as a whole, the amount of times we turn the ball over, we don't generate turnovers, and another game that we outgained our opponent, to lose like we did, it's 3 turnovers to nothing, and we gave up the 2 explosive plays for 2 touchdowns, and again, we're not quite there, and but I'm proud of our guys' efforts. I feel bad for our seniors. I would have loved to send them out with a win and get them to a bowl game before they left, and unfortunately we weren't able to do that. I think we've got a good core of young players that if they do the things necessary, that we'll be able to take that next step next year. But that's a lot of work to do, and it's a hard step to take. So we've got to have leaders step up and be willing to do it. But again, proud of our team, disappointed with the outcome. And again, it's very simple. If you lose a turnover battle 3-0, it's very, very hard to win football games.
Impact of him not playing, Dave?
Pardon?
Impact of him not playing.
I mean, the impact of Hinton not playing. I mean, anytime one of your best players can't play, it never helps you. I thought that we had been getting in a pretty good rhythm of being able to play both, and there were some explosive plays. And, we made a few explosives to our tight end today. And Cortez had a great catch at the end. But Kendall, if you go back on the season, was probably our most explosive playmaker. And to take arguably the best athlete in the team out of the game never helps. But, who's to say how different it would be?
In the first half, it seemed like you were playing a little bit back on the corners, and they were just 5, 6, and 7 yards to depth. Did you ever think about going into press coverage?
No. I mean, we did a great job on first and second down, but we gave up. I mean, what were they at, like 5 to 7 or on third downs? And I mean, we were pressing, we were playing off, we were zone blitzing. I mean, the blitzes weren't getting home, and we were struggling to cover them. And they've got some big receivers, and they were getting them matched up on some, our smaller corner and our smaller nickel, and it was just some big body throws. And Duke did a great, Duke's a very efficient offense, and they're really good up front. And they did a nice job protecting. Again, I thought in first and second down we did a nice job, that we defended the run pretty well up until the end of the game. But we just, the blitzes weren't getting home, and we didn't do a good job of covering them. And I think at the half, the time of possession was 20-10 or 21-9. Other than the one drive, we didn't sustain drives, and they sustained every drive. I mean, they just kept converting third down. So a lot of it wasn't first and second down. It was against our nickel and our dime package.
It's ultimately about wins, but are you where you want to be, though, at this part, at the end of year 2 now? Is the team where it wants to be, wins aside?
No, I don't think you're ever where you want to be, and in a couple years, if we win an ACC championship, I'm going to tell you we're not where we want to be. We want to get to the top.
What do you expect? Are you where you expect?
I think when the season started, and we met, I said there's no doubt in my mind that we're going to be a better football team this year. I don't know if the record will reflect that, in part because I think the schedule got a lot more difficult, and we were just counting on so many young players at so many positions. And again, there's no doubt in my mind that we're a better team, but at the end of the day, it is measured by wins and losses, and in the most important regard, we didn't improve. In every other regard, we did. So, I mean, every offensive number, I don't know what we're going to end up on defense, but and I'm excited. I really am. I think we've got a lot of good young players in the program that learned some valuable lessons this year, at times the hard way. I think we're starting to develop our foundation and our core, and I believe in the young players in our locker room. And again, my biggest regret is for guys like Brandon Chubb and Dylan Intamin and Alex Cannell and Hunter Williams and that group that we were not able to get it done for them more this year, because those guys are winners in every sense of the word. I just absolutely love those kids and what they stand for and how hard they worked, and they deserve to go out winners.
You mentioned several times going into the year for us to have to do here, our young players have to play old. They have to play beyond their years. Did you see it enough time?
I think I would say overall probably no.
Yeah.
And here's what I would say. Did at times they make spectacular plays? Yes. At times did we do really immature things that hurt us in football games? Yes. That there was a lack of consistency from some of those players, and I don't want to say I predicted it, but when you're that young that those things are going to happen, and you coach your butt off to try to prevent it. But until it actually happens, a lot of times it falls on deaf ears. The amount of personal fouls we had this year at critical times, the amount of turnovers, the amount of big plays. I'm not saying all of those were our younger players, but I would say the overwhelming majority of those plays were by freshmen and sophomores that had not played a lot. And experience is a painful teacher, because you get the result and then you learn the lesson. So we've learned a lot of expensive lessons this year, and now it's our job as coaches to get those things fixed and corrected so they don't show up next year. And again, to me, the statistics are more a measure of where you are physically, and in that way, I think every one of you that watched us a year ago, so there's no question our offensive line took a step forward. Our running back position, Tyler Bell, I thought looked really good today at times, took a step forward. We got more explosive plays in Cam Serenay, and defensively, I think our front seven took a step forward. Maybe the only position across the board that probably didn't get better this year was the secondary, and kind of expected that with who we lost. So I do feel physically we're in a much better spot when we were a year ago. I still don't feel that we're quite strength-wise in the middle of the ACC, but we're a lot closer to it. And this is a really, really important offseason for us. It's been 2 years, and now the foundation's laid, and now we've got to start producing more results, and I'm confident that's going to happen.
You mentioned leadership a couple times now, and how much are you going to miss this small but mighty group of seniors that you're losing? And additionally, who are you looking that can kind of step in and fill that void from a leadership position for you?
Well, to first talk about the leaders we're losing, and I'm really going to talk about Brandon Chubb and Hunter Williams, because those guys were seniors who were 2-year captains. And it's very easy to be an effective captain when you're winning. It's very challenging to be an effective captain when you're losing. And those two would have been two of the best captains I've had on any team, undefeated teams or teams that struggled. Those two guys are men. They're stand-up people. They're everything that's right about college football. And I really can't, without getting emotional, it's hard to not tell you how much those two mean to me personally and our program. And Alex Cannell and Dylan Intamin, and those guys they're really special people. And when you think about it, they came in here with 24 people, and there was only 4 of them left as a scholarship class. And that tells you the resiliency those guys had. But I think that's also a reason that we are where we are. That I think Duke started 10 seniors today, and I don't know how many seniors are in there too deep, but it's a lot. And that was a very mature football team we played. And they look it. Their arms look it. Their shoulders look it. Their size looks it. And we're closer. We're closer than we were a year ago to where they are, but we're not there yet. And again, next year we'll have a whole nother year of experience and a whole nother off season, and I think we'll take another nice incremental jump here.
Your decision to punt with 2 minutes left, 3-score game, you're on 37 in early.
I just think it's early. I still think at that point it's a 3-score game. And I just think when you start going for it on your end in the third quarter, that's desperation. I felt we still, with how much time was left, I want to say there were
2 left in the third quarter.
So there's still 17 minutes. It's a 3-score game. If you go for it there, you're saying you don't trust your defense. And, I just thought it was a 3-score game. It was 3 touchdowns or 2 touchdowns and a field goal. And you go for it, you don't get it, you give them a short field, it's, maybe a 4-score game.
And the missed field goal obviously hurt you.
Hurt us, yeah.
We were worn out, we were worn out this year.
Oh, probably,
Yeah.
that he, it helped having centers. When one guy can handle kickoffs and the other guy can handle PATs and field goals, and Mike will tell you no, but, I mean, we've had more kickers in the training room this year than what I've seen. And, Alex, it's a Lifetime Achievement Award. There's a lot of miles on those legs, and that's a dubious record. I mean, that's one I hope never gets broken. So he's been sore, but Weaver's not been healthy. I mean, he didn't kick the last couple of days this week, and it's hard to do it on a flat tire.
Good.
Good. All right. Thanks again, guys. Appreciate it.